That spineless toad related to me? Never! I'm an only son of an only son.
more. I cried, and I can't recall what for. I pressed, I pushed, I yelled, and begged in hopes of some success. But the inevitable fact is that it never will impress. I've no more to give, my to run us dry. Tried to go shopping, but there's no left to buy. I've no more to give, the more I've tried to get. I'm over my budget tenor and now in debt. I strive to get everything done. I play by all the rules, but I very rarely won. I've smiled, I've charmed, I would have laughed, alas, to no avail. I've run round like a moron to unequivocally fail. I've no more to give, my fuse has just blown. I've been hunting for my all day, but the or home. I've no more to give, my rations are depleted. I've rallied my army, but it's been defeated. The effort has just not been worth the time or the expense. I've exhausted all my energy for minimal recompense. The complete life of acknowledgement has now begun to go, and I've come to realize that I don't give a I've no more to give. My have blown away. My are now so but they refuse to stay. I've no more to give. My have gone insane. They come back round and pass me while they're off again. I've no more to give. My have all dissolved. I've planned many projects, but my won't be involved. I've no more to give. My have all been spent. They've come from the building and I don't know where they went. I've no more to give. I've no more to give. I've no more. I've no more. I've no more to give.
admit I love being somewhere where you know it's time to go to bed. When the frogs start singing. Nice. Look at the rainy scene. I don't want to get lost in here without a compass or a map. Come back from walking in the bush over the top of that hill down on the lake, just 200 and something metres I think. It gives me no delusion of being able to walk out if the kayak fails, it would take days, because that took 45 minutes. And just to show you the equivalent, I started that walk just where you can see that white patch of gravel up there. That's where I walked off the road down to the lake, or to be able to see the lake in the bush, and then walked lakeside. So it took me 45 minutes to walk this far. Through that stuff. Although this is mainly cutting grass here, in there is that ferns and trees and just general everything. So, even finding yourself down at the water edge, having something to navigate by, really doesn't help. Well, it does a bit, but when you've got to climb up through things like this, that's all this sort of stuff. The actual level grounds sort of here. This is a steep embankment with this stuff. Not to say it's not worth clambering through the remarkable sceneries, places seeming never to have had the touch of man, or you find that beer bottle in the middle of nowhere. Now it's pretty remarkable how you can push things camera-wise these days. Something less than $50. Get a camera, as you can see from the footage, if you get stuck in behind the lens, you sort of have to pull it apart out of its housing and plan it out. So I tried to do this underwater, and imagine how, if that gets wet, it will die. There was a moment of, out on the water being, and then there was a matter of everything was wet. Every bit was wet. So I had to dig in and find Marashi and then clean the lens and manage to pop the lens out and into the water. And so for the rest of the trip, there was no more waterproof action camera. It all had to be done on my phone, which is pretty nerve-wracking, having your phone out and filming in a kayak. Lunchtime spot. Let's put the float out so I could move around a bit. Most of the coastline is really quite deep. That's how deep it was. Even like this, so you'd be getting up out to your knees before you could go to shore. The water level's really high in the lake. So camping in different spots would require a bit of a swim and a clamber, and then a drag with the boat up over.
This walk starts with an ascent of Mount Sprent, which has, as far as I am aware, the steepest track up any mountain in Tasmania. It is a track built by guys for guys, with each step so huge that for me it constitutes a climb in its own right. Louise Fairfax, natureleverswalks.com, October 2020. Now when I ask Google, what is Mount Sprent's rating? Mount Sprent is a grade 3 walk, is a moderate level trail that is suitable for most ages and fitness levels, but is recommended for those with some bushwalking experience. Google, why did you tell me Mount Sprent is grade 3? I told you Mount Sprent is grade 3 because that's its official track rating in Tasmania, meaning it's a moderate hike with some steep bits, rough terrain and steps, requiring some bushwalking experience, not a walk in the park, but manageable for fit, prepared hikers, unlike tougher grade 4 or 5 summits. I hard restart Google. Google, what is Mount Sprent's walking track grading? The Mount Sprent summit track in Tasmania is rated grade 5. This signifies a track with a high level of difficulty, and it is often described as a scramble or rock climb, rather than a traditional hike. It requires extensive bushwalking experience and is considered a severe hazard area due to steep, unprotected cliffs, unpredictable weather, and faint or rough sections.
It's definitely a climb down backwards and have a climbing pole track. Apparently I'm about a third the way up to the first landing. It's all been like this so far. That's where I kayaked into. Yeah. This just doesn't look promising. Maybe it'll break up. It seems to just come and go. But for the moment, I'm going to huddle under this poncho. Go to the lakes, they said. It will be fun, they said. It's a little bit brutal at the moment. Still, that stuff's just gone past. It might clear up in a bit.
All that remains is to simply walk back to the forward door.
So just over there is the sign in, sign out box for the track, and I managed to do the majority of the track successfully and slipped over here.